Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar brought to you by Bursa Malaysia. Today our webinar title is Pharmaniaga Berhad, Protecting the Nation. Today this webinar is about a corporate presentation by Pharmaniaga to tell you more about the corporate development so that you can understand their key corporate updates and the growth prospect in 2022. So let me give you an introduction about Pharmaniaga. So Pharmaniaga Berhad is the leading integrated pharmaceutical company in Malaysia and is principally involved in manufacturing of generic pharmaceuticals, research and development, marketing and sales, warehousing and distribution of pharmaceutical and medical products, supply, trading and installation of medical and hospital equipment, as well as community pharmacies. With a vision to be the premier Malaysian pharmaceutical company, Pharmaniaga is guided by its philosophy of doing it right always and empowered by its motto of passion for patients. Strengthened by 9 manufacturing plants, nationwide logistic and distribution in Malaysia and Indonesia, as well as products registered in 15 countries, Pharmaniaga is positioned to be a regional player in the international pharmaceutical arena. So today we are very honored to have invited Encik Mohamed Iqbal, the Deputy Managing Director, and Puan Norai'ni Mohamed Ali, Chief Financial Officer of Pharmaniaga, to talk about their key corporate updates and also the growth prospects in 2022. All right. So my name is Shen Chu. I'll be the moderator for this session. So welcome, Encik Iqbal and Puan Norai'ni.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining our session. So without further ado, let me hand over the presentation to you.
Okay, thank you, Chu. I'll cover a little bit background about Pharmaniaga before moving into what we have planned for Pharmaniaga, big plans that we have for Pharmaniaga. Next, please. All right, Pharmaniaga, in a nutshell, is a subsidiary of Boston Holding, and Boston Holding itself is a subsidiary of LTAT, or Armed Forces Fund Board. And unique about Pharmaniaga is Armed Forces Fund Board, they themselves hold 9% or probably now a little bit less of Pharmaniaga directly. Right, and our core business, as shared by Chu earlier, we are into logistics and distribution of pharmaceuticals. We are very specific into pharmaceuticals. We are into research and development and manufacturing of generic drugs. There are some new areas that we are moving on, which I will share later. We are into sales and marketing of third-party product, being a distributor for MNCs, etc. We are strong into this area as well. And as well as we are into community pharmacy. Geographic-wise, we are in Indonesia as well as in Malaysia, large, as far as large operations. However, we are also in some Asian countries, in Africa, as well as Middle East, but we operate via agencies over there. Next, please. Okay, snapshot about the company. We have been 27 years in existence. We are the first public listed company in healthcare. We are largest integrated pharmaceutical company in Malaysia. Largest, when I say integrated, means it covers both manufacturing as well as logistics. There are some others who are larger than us. However, they are into either one of the sector. Right, and manufacturing plants, there are some change in the number compared to the one earlier shared. We have 7 plants in Malaysia, and we have 1 plant in Bandung, Indonesia, that is producing generic drugs as well for Indonesian market. Logistics and distribution, because our logistics are much better compared to Indonesia, we have 5 branches, 5 main warehouses in KL, in Juru, in Penang, up north. We also have in KK as well as in Kuching, and we are expanding 3 more by year end. We are hoping to get 3 more warehouses in place. In Indonesia, because nature of island and hard to reach locations, for us to be able to deliver the goods on time, we have 33 branches and sales officers throughout the country. And we are almost in each and every province of Indonesia, except for probably Papua. Papua, we operate via Sulawesi, but otherwise we are present in the whole of Indonesia. It's a quite large operation there. And the public list and the company operating the logistics and distribution in Indonesia is also public listed in Indonesia as well. Product-wise, we have 324 products. This is going on a yearly basis. We target to launch 30 products on a yearly basis, both generics as well as OTC and supplements. We have 172 products registered throughout the world. Each and every product that we manufacture and we register in Malaysia. As far as drugs is concerned, you must register in the countries that you want to sell. So that's the reason why we have to go through this process. Earlier mentioned, the core business of ours will be logistics and distribution. We are the concession holder, a 10-year concession holder, which has expired in 2019. We have received a 1-year extension in 2022 to continue to do logistics and distribution for the government. And another 10 years, we have received letter of intent. We are now finalizing the agreement and as well as terms and conditions relating to the new agreement. However, I would like to note that our logistics and distribution not only handles the government of Malaysia, we also do logistics and distribution to the private hospitals, to private GPs, to pharmacies, the pharmacies out there, to Papa and Mama shops. So wherever there's a drug requirement, we deliver on our own. Yeah, this is handled by our logistics distribution. Manufacturing, we do R&D on generic drugs. Why we need to do R&D? Because the formulas are not shared by the originator, as and when the patent expires, we'll do R&D and start manufacturing. That the process will take around 5 years before we can come up with a drug. So we already have a 10-year plan, what we want to do, and the 10-year plan gets renewed and refreshed on a yearly basis. Sales and marketing, this is very critical. We are saying, whilst we have manufacturing, we have logistics to deliver, we need to continue to market our product and make sure the sales happen. So these are the team that focuses in GPs, into private hospital, into pharmacies to sell our drugs that we manufacture, as well as product that we bring as a principal. Sometimes, for example, we have a product called Gengigel, which comes from Italy. So we are the sole distributor in Malaysia, so we bring over and distribute the product here locally. Next, please. Our human capital, this is our core. Total manpower right now is around 3,600 staff. Indonesia alone is around 1,500, and the balance are distributed throughout our manufacturing plant, warehouses, as well as our support offices throughout the country. The manpower has been growing. As the business continue to grow, the manpower has been growing. We have been leveraging on technology. However, there are certain areas, the skill areas, we still continue to engage on new manpower. And so we have technical people into who are in the role of chemists, in pharmacies, in IT, in technical services, engineers, regulatory affairs, as well as clinical affairs. Total around 400 of them, very highly technical. And what we are proud of is almost all of our local, our workforce are all local. Yeah, so we have around 4 or 5 expatriates who assist us in the areas of product development into R&D as well. They are from India. Next, please. All right, thank you. On dividend, we have been consistently paying dividend. Yes, there are years that we do better than the other. Last year was a bumper year for us. We paid 9.3 cents. That's almost 12% dividend yield for last year. Exceptional, but we have been consistently paying dividend. Next, please. Okay, sorry, my slide appeared to be frozen, so I'll share. Okay, we are the premier integrated logistics and distribution company in Malaysia. We have secured 1-year extension for this year in 2032, right? 2022, and we also have received a letter of intent I mentioned earlier for 10-year concession from 2023 to 2032. We are now finalizing the terms, and we hope we could sign a formal agreement by end of the year for us to continue our services forward for the government. On pharmaceutical and logistics, there are other areas that we want to continue to explore. We are looking at becoming pharmaceutical logistics and distribution company of Malaysia, the largest. So we will be offering our services to other manufacturers, drug manufacturers, as well as support services within the pharmaceutical areas. And we intend to expand into freight as well. We are now using a partner company from Boston. We intend to probably have a acquisition of this company, and then which will expand our portfolio from just local to freight forwarding, giving an end-to-end solution, both Malaysia and Indonesia. So any drug manufacturers in Indonesia or in Malaysia, if they want to deliver the product, vice versa, they can always use us as a single-stop solution. An area that we are looking at now is expanding into FMCG. We are still in the early stage, exploring the feasibility of moving into FMCG. If we need to move into this area and we find it viable, high chances we'll look into a potential acquisition so that we can speed up the entry into this market. Next, please. Okay, on research and development, as I mentioned earlier, this is an area of importance for us. Without any research, then you can't continue to develop new products. Product keeps on changing every year. Every 2 years, there will be, every two to 5 years, there will be always new products coming in, patent getting expired. So we have a 10-year rolling plan for us to develop new product. For instance, if we want to develop a product that ready to be marketed now, the R&D should have happened 5 years ago. As such, we need this plan so that we know which are the product expiring on which year. For example, if a product is going to expire in 2027, by 2022, we already started working on the product so that by on the 5th year, 2027, by the time the product patent expires, we already have the product ready to launch. And we were successful in one of the product on a similar basis. We launched 1 year after the product patent expired, and we are now leading the market share within Malaysia. Okay, development of new molecules. We'll continue to look into new areas of development. For example, drug for cholesterol used to be simvastatin. We were very sizable in this market. However, the trend has changed. We have moved into atorvastatin and now has moved to rosuvastatin. So we have done the R&D. Now we are about to register this product as well. So this will continue to evolve. We're looking at new drugs, new therapeutics that we need to expand into. OTC and supplement market is a new area that we should grow. We have been very ethical market. Ethical, what I meant by ethical is those medicines that requires doctor's prescription. We were very strong in this area. However, we can see the trend have changed. There are people are very conscious about their health. They want to
is Encik Iqbal still there? I think Encik Iqbal just dropped off the line. Puan Norai'ni, are you able to get Encik Iqbal to speak?
As well as Sweet Royal we are offering now Arnia Stainless Bee Honey as well as Sweet Royal Stevia Natural Sweetener. We will be moving into new areas that we find suitable to complement our range of products. Next, please. Okay, this is an area of growth. Biopharma and TCM capabilities. Generic drugs has been quite saturated in Malaysia, as well as internationally. If you look at international, and anyway, whenever the patent expires, there'll be 2-3 people coming up with their own competitive products. So we are trying to move into an area where we could be a niche. There could be very less competition and create new barriers of entry. So we have been focusing on vaccine. We have started the project in 2017. However, COVID came, so that fast-tracked us moving into the vaccine business. So what happened to the vaccine now? We have produced 14 million doses at the moment, and we will continue to produce whenever there's a demand. We can see tapering of demand throughout the world, primarily due to the fact that
okay, I think
primarily due to the fact that the Omicron is not very severe as far as the the disease is concerned. So people are quite resistant in taking their boosters and all that. But we believe that having booster will protect you. So we suggest that everyone should continue to take their booster, at least the 3 dose, and you will be protected. So we do not know when will the pandemic move to endemic. What we worry is any new shade that comes out that becomes deadly. Yeah. So, however, we'll be very vigilant. We will not overproduce the vaccine, and we will continue producing it when the demand rises. Next, on halal vaccine manufacturing, this is the roadmap, the overall big plan that we had. The project is progressing well. The rollout of the manufacturing will start in 2024. We are looking at producing 6 vaccines. These are not COVID-19 vaccine, but these are an ordinary vaccine which we'll use in our daily life. Frozen. Achu, are we on?
Yes, yeah, we can still hear you, but you
All
need to mute the other speaker.
Okay.
Are you able to see the screen? So one of them have to be muted so that it won't create echo.
One moment.
Apologies for all the technical glitch, yeah?
Right. Okay, my apologies. Are we clear now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, clear. We are on a growth strategy number 4.
Okay, my apologies. Are we on now?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, we will be working with original equipment manufacturers on. Sorry. Again, can we have one page back? I've not covered the insulin. Okay, the halal vaccine manufacturing plant will be producing product as we have announced earlier in Thailand. We signed an agreement with a Thailand party where we will be doing our own R&D, doing manufacturing over in Thailand. So with that, we'll have our own IP to continue manufacturing and exporting this product throughout the world. The advantage that we have compared to other vaccine manufacturers, our plant will be certified halal, and whatever products that originate from the plant will be halal as well. So this gives us extra niche, extra value proposition, marketing the product throughout the world. Yeah? So there'll be a total of 12 products that we are focusing to bring into Malaysia. 6 will be fill and finish. 1 product will be our own manufacturing, and the rest will be just doing trading, because those products, some are halal, some are non-halal, while some are very small volume that is not worthwhile for us to continue doing fill and finish. Next is a very important new area that we are embarking. We are also moving into halal insulin. This is part of our biopharma strategy. The facility will start operating right now. It's undergoing renovation currently. It will start operating in 2024. We'll be producing 3 major types of cartridge-filled insulin, which will be administered via specialized pen by patient as prescribed by the doctors. So these 2 areas, which is halal vaccine as well as halal insulin, will be our future growth area that we are hoping that will lead forward Pharmaniaga moving forward in 2025 beyond. Another area that we are also looking at, and this is still at the early stage, is working on renowned Ayurvedic manufacturer from India. Again, this is just complementing our drug businesses. Next, please. Okay, next we are looking into Pharmaniaga itself. Pharmaniaga's product to become a household brand throughout integrated branding and marketing. You have never seen Pharmaniaga's advertisement before, but now it's available in major highways, major billboards. So we are doing an aggressive campaign about our product, which we range from Citrac Vitamin C, Actimol, which is a paracetamol, Black Baraka, Black Seed Oil, which we are the sole distributor throughout Malaysia, as well as Perozin pain reliever. And we have other products as well within our portfolio for a healthy lifestyle, but we are looking at least one of these products gets into every household of the country, right? And consumable market, we are looking at complementing the product that we are offering whenever we go to GPs, whenever we go to pharmacies. While we are selling the Citrac Vitamin C, we are also looking at complementing this product with sanitizers, gloves, masks, and so on. However, this product we will not be manufacturing, but we will be working with partners to have OEM and bringing as a brand from Pharmaniaga. Biomedical equipment and medical devices. As I mentioned earlier, one of the products from Italy is the Genji Gel. We are the top 6 sales in the world. So Malaysia's sales for Genji Gel is top 6 in the world. So it has shown that we can do it if we really focus into this area. So we'll be bringing more products and partnering with more companies, especially from the MNCs. Yeah? And the other area that we have been doing, which is the hospital equipping, we'll continue to focus into this area, which is hospital equipping, as well as sales of biomedical products. International ventures, we have sizable operation in Indonesia. MPI, the business is close to 1 billion now, Malaysian ringgit. And we have PT Arita, which is doing manufacturing in Indonesia. So we have sizable operation in Indonesia. And if you compare with other operations of Malaysian company in Indonesia, some have turned back. But we, although our revenue has been not that significant, our revenue has been very significant, although profit-wise we are quite small. We're trying to improve the business. We are trying to improve the business process into this area to ensure that while the business grows, the profitability continues to be better. Yeah, so this is an area that we'll be looking at in 2022 to make sure that the Indonesian operation deliver better profit. And not forgetting, we are also looking at other neighboring states, neighboring countries. We have population more than 10 times of Malaysia. If we look at Indonesia, if we look at Thailand, we look at Philippines, etc. If you combine them, the population will be 10 times of Malaysia. So this is an area that we would like to continue to penetrate. We have small operation in those countries, but we want to grow big with good partners from those countries. And European and MENA market is also a new growth area that we are looking at with the new vaccine and insulin project they are working on. Together with the existing product that we have, we'll continue to market this product into the European and MENA market. What is the advantage that we carry is Malaysia being a PICS standard, we offer a better advantage for product acceptance in those countries. So with that, we plan our manufacturing plant. One of the plant is already EU certified, the one that's producing vaccine. But we'll then extend it to the other nation, the other plants to be EU certified as well as GC certified, and if possible, continue with MH certification. Next, please. Business cannot continue as usual. Yeah, this is evident during COVID. Those who had put in their digitization or computerization activity, they are not badly impacted. Pharmaniaga has started the digitization activity way back. Paperless, I would say. There will be minimal paper. There is only when we deliver the drugs to the hospital. Otherwise, activity are done purely on electronic. So from the government's point of view, there wasn't any interruption during the COVID-19 crisis, during the shutdown. Business has been going on as usual. So now what we'll do is we'll move into other areas. Our business in the private sector are still very much human contact. So we will reduce this to minimal contact and facilitated via e-commerce. warehouses. We are building new warehouses, as I mentioned. We also will be modernizing some of our warehouses, putting a lot of automation in here. We are planning to invest another 180 million into coming up with these warehouses. And this project is planned over the next 5 years, right? And going green is part of our belief in ESG. So with that, we also looking at probably the vehicles that we have, the motorcycles, and probably the lorries that we are going to use. These are energy efficient, and if possible, we like to move to EV once it become mainstream. It's feasible for us to operate such vehicles to deliver our drugs. Right? As you know, delivering drugs is different compared to other products. The temperature need to be maintained. For vaccine, the temperature need to be between 2 degrees to 8 degrees. For other drugs, it's between 20 to 25 degrees. So we need to ensure whatever vehicle we use, the temperature is maintained so that the product is still efficacious. The other area we are also looking at is in some parts of Sabah and Sarawak, or even in Peninsula, we supply drugs to one clinic kesihatan in Banding Forest, Banding Lake, near the Banding Lake. It takes us around 3 hours to reach the destination, whereas if we can fly over there, it's just half an hour. So now we are looking at whether we could deliver using drones to remote areas, or those that we need to pass through lakes or rivers or islands. So for example, we have done a proof of concept in Pangkor and also during the flood recently, and we'll be doing another proof of concept in Sabah soon. So with that, once it gets approval and the drones are capable of lifting some sizable amount of product, withstand the weather of Malaysia, then we will use this as a mainstream delivery method throughout our delivery system. Next. As I mentioned earlier, with the 3,500, human capital is one of our core strengths, the knowledge that everyone carries. So the element so part of it, what we want to do is to have renowned experts or to form a scientific advisory group to support Pharmaniaga and to advise us on the best practices, future direction, as well as giving us some market access. So we also will expand our regulatory team. We have quite a sizable regulatory team who make sure that all our processes complies to the regulatory requirement of pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical is very highly regulated. We also want to build their expertise not only for Malaysia, but also for whenever we want to go to the respective countries. So they need to be exposed to the international markets regulatory requirements. Culture of excellence. We had this Do It Right, as Chu has mentioned earlier. We had a 5-year campaign. So now we are trying to have this. We are moving into culture building. No longer an day-to-day operation, but it becomes a culture that everyone wants to set it first time, right? This will reduce wastages and avoid any succession. I did not share earlier, the 3,500, 80% of our staff are below 40 years old. So we have a good tie between the seniors and the juniors. So this will ensure that whatever has been planned will continue to be operated, continue to be executed, and making sure that the business, whatever has been planned, the growth that we have planned for the company, continue to be there, right? And local first policy, we will continue to engage only local where possible. There are expertise in the product development as well as R&D, but otherwise we'll always have a local first policy in during employment, right? Next, please. Okay, our underlying principle will continue to be supporting the national security of drugs. So development of the new infrastructure will reduce the dependency of import. For example, we are saying we have more warehouses. We will have that will store more products. We also have vaccines and insulins made in Malaysia. First time when COVID-19 vaccine was done, that was the first ever vaccine manufactured in Malaysia. So we'll continue to look into this so that we are not impacted by crisis. When N95, when the crisis, the COVID-19 crisis happened, N95 we imported from Taiwan. When the country imposed a lockdown that no mask can be exported, immediately there was a huge shortage in Malaysia. So we are trying to look at other areas to support the nation so that in the event there's any pandemic, any lockdown throughout the world, we are minimally impacted by those pandemics. Yeah? Security of supply, Pharmaniaga will continue to hold stockpile for the government as well as for the market, the private market, so that, for example, we don't want a crisis when the DTaP vaccine for children was impacted and there was no supply throughout Malaysia and throughout the world for the nation as well, either for the government as well for the private sector. And look at delivery of drugs and consumables that we supply on JIT basis. They will reduce the cost at the client side. Yeah? Our halal will be always our core. We'll continue to have all our products will continue to have to be halal. That gives us a niche value proposition moving forward, exporting to other countries. On ESG, we are very committed in ESG, especially on usage of water, energy, and emission of greenhouse gases. And to that extent, probably the next slide, please. Sorry, we have started producing an independent sustainability report as part of our corporate disclosure since 2017. In 2018, we won a Best Under Billion Award by Focus Malaysia. And we were awarded Company of the Year Award for Integrated Pharmaceutical Group category under CSR Malaysia Award in 2019. We were awarded the Company of the Year Award for Integrated Pharmaceutical Group category in 2020. 2021, we received an award for overall excellence in COVID-19 and community initiative. And the best part of it, in 2021, we successfully listed in FTSE for Good Bursa Malaysia Index, as well as FTSE for Good Bursa Malaysia Syariah Index in December. Next, please. So these are based on activities that we have done, the report that we have produced. So within the healthcare, we are one of those who are successfully listed in this category. Right, so we are very proud of it. ESG will be our bread and butter. Whatever we do, we'll continue to ensure that we comply to the ESG and we embrace ESG as our culture. Next. So with that, I end my presentation and probably I'll take some questions.
All right, thank you so much.
Apologies again for the glitch.
Yeah, actually the internet is still not that smooth. At some part your voice was still breaking up. All right. Yeah, there have been a few questions that we received. So if you have any questions to ask the senior management of Pharmaniaga, please write them in the Q&A box so we can address them. Right. Thank you so much, Encik Iqbal. So the first question is asked by Parianan Rajkumar. What is the impact of the supply chain disruption and general inflation on your business? How are you mitigating against this?
Okay, as far as the supply chain disruption, we were not badly impacted during the COVID-19. With the inflation, we did not see much impact as well. So far, our cost has been steady. We have been monitoring this in very detail, especially on the logistic cost with the rising fuel cost. We are at the moment we are not impacted, and we are mitigating on efficiency if we need to mitigate this.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Iqbal. Could you please elaborate on what the 12 vaccines are, your addressable market size, the present competitors when it comes to the halal vaccines?
Okay, we can't share because we have not announced so we will say this will be the common vaccine used in National Immunization Program. So I'll just stop there, not giving the details of the vaccine, but this will be the core vaccines that every child takes and everyone takes when they want to go on holiday. So obviously that will be the market that we are looking at.
Okay, I see.
Revenue
Thank you so
wise,
much.
Malaysia's revenue, I will not talk about where we are heading. Malaysia's revenue around 300 to 400 million a year, and internationally is mind-boggling. So I wouldn't. That's huge number. Yeah, it's in billions. So that's the size actually.
All right. The next question is, what are the present challenges that results in lower profitability in Indonesia, and how do you intend to resolve this?
One moment.
Sure.
Okay. In Indonesia, speaking, is very competitive environment. Is a dog situation there. You know, doing marketing. There are a lot of companies doing similar business. What we need to do is to look at our collection. That will be the most critical, and our payment. So if we can balance this, so interest rate is very high in Indonesia. We are looking at times it was at 12% range, dropped to 10. Now it's around 6, 7 kind of thing. But still, it's very high in Indonesia. That impacts us. So we need to make sure that the collection is on time. Moving into technology. Previously, the Indonesian market, they were quite hesitant in using technology, but now they are very open. They are picking up very fast. So with that movement into technology, then we can see the collection should be better and hence give us a better margin.
Okay, understand. The next question is on COVID-19. So what will be the impact of long COVID symptoms among those infected with COVID-19? And could you elaborate how will this impact your company?
The long COVID better explained by the the medical professional. They are in better known. In fact, we don't have enough data to say this is the long COVID, because COVID is expected to last probably another year or another 2 years. So with that, then only we will know what are the impact, if any, from this COVID, whether people will recover over a period of time, or there will be some will continue with the problems that they face currently. But we hope that everyone have built body with good resistance, so everyone recovers post COVID. So it's just that the long COVID is there, but it's just that we do not know how long is long. Yeah.
Okay, understand. May I know what is the shelf life of the Sinovac vaccine?
Okay, Sinovac vaccine, based on study, is 2 years. However, part of the procedure for us to get approval, when we started manufacturing in Malaysia, we need to submit the data to show that the vaccine is stable on the first month of manufacture. Subsequently, we supply the data based on 3 months of manufacture, after the 6th month, after the 12th month, and the final one we need to submit after the 2 years. So we have gotten approval for 18 months validity of vaccine, but finally it'll be a 2-year validity of vaccines. Generally speaking, vaccines have 2 years shelf life.
Okay, understand. What do you intend to do with your Sinovac vaccines inventory?
Okay, we have doing a big marketing effort, especially internationally. Malaysia is highly vaccinated, one of the best countries as an example. However, some other countries are lowly vaccinated. For example, if you look at African market, overall they are around 12-13% vaccination rate. All right, so these are the markets that we are looking at to supply our vaccine. We are also looking at Southeast Asia, some countries and the other. We are also now in talking to the authorities of those countries to look at marketing our existing stocks, as well as manufacturing more if the demand continues.
Okay, so how much more demand of COVID-19 vaccines is your group expecting in the next 2 to 3 years?
It all depends on what happens to COVID-19 vaccine. If it continues to tone down and cases goes down and there's no new mutation, by all means, then most likely there will be less demand for vaccine. However, if there's any new mutation that is a little bit severe, then the demand will continue to pick up. We are not hoping for that. Obviously, we want everyone to be better. It's just that we'll never know. This mutation keep on changing.
Okay. So going forward, will your group's earnings normalize to pre-COVID level? If so, what steps are you taking to ensure that earnings growth?
As I said, the strategies we have put in, I showed earlier, the 7 strategies that we have put in, we are looking at not moving back to pre-COVID, definitely. And last year was an exceptional year. 4.8 billion is an exceptional year. So we are looking at much higher compared to pre-2019. Like I mentioned, when we look at the vaccine and insulin, once the project come in place, then definitely they will push our revenue much higher, as well as profitability-wise, the automation, the digitalization plan that we have put in place, that will also, with the same revenue, we can have a better bottom line. And moving into national market, international market, we have been very focused in Malaysia and Indonesia, but now we see the whole market, the whole world as our market potential. So we are now in discussion with some parties in UK, as well as Middle East, looking at potential of having good partners. What is important is about good partners to register our products and market our products in those nations.
Okay. Do you have any plans to do warehousing, distribution, and delivery for principals like other distributors?
Yeah, we have the plan. Some of the arrangement made are international arrangement or regional arrangement. So they already have a tie-up, say from company A, I won't name the companies, from MNC to another MNC, local distributor, that international, I'll use your facilities. So now we are scouting for other MNCs who wants to use us as their distribution arm in Malaysia. So we have some, but we want to expand into this area larger, as well as looking at the local manufacturing companies as well.
I see. The next question is by Herman Haminuddin. In terms of supply chain disruption, what kind of digitalization initiative are taken by Pharmaniaga?
Okay. One is having the online portals for purchase. Those are limited as well because you can't sell ethical drugs in online, those prescription drugs. You can only sell OTC and supplements. So that's the only area that we can look at selling. So we are in the common platforms that you have in Malaysia for sales. What we have also put in something new, which is Royal Pharma 24/7. This is our vending machine. So this is an online vending machine where we will have probably 1,000 units in a year or two time. Next year or the year after, we'll complete the 1,000 throughout the country, where after office hours or after the petrol station has been closed, you can continue to buy the standard paracetamol, the standard painkillers, or whatever you need, those kind of items in those. So those will be our market areas. We are looking at bus stops, bus stations. We are looking at train stations to be able to have these machines in, and so that is ever ready, ever available for the consumers to grab it on.
Okay. The next question is by Brennan Rajkumar. So when a client chooses procurement of vaccines, how important would halal certification be for the client to choose your company? Additionally, who are the competitors already operating in this space, and how do you intend to compete in this space?
Yeah, very good question. As far as all vaccine manufacturers in the world, not that their products are not halal, some of them, the products are halal. However, if your plant is not certified halal, or you have mixture of halal and non-halal vaccine, then you can't certify your vaccine to be halal. In our case, what we are trying to do is to have halal from the very beginning. That means the plant itself is halal, and whatever product that we want to manufacture in Malaysia will continue to be halal, and hence the entire supply chain will be halal. The advantage that we have is, especially in the Middle East and North Africa, a lot of Muslim countries and Muslim nations with high buying power. So we are hoping that this will open up bigger market for us moving forward. You have large population of Muslims in India. You have large population of Muslim in UK as well. So then we could bring an alternative compared to the existing product that's available there.
Okay, thank you so much for the clarification. The next question is, what is the latest update on your engagements with the Malaysia's Ministry of Health for the new 10-year concession agreement?
Great, it's going fine. We have several meetings now, so we are hoping, I can't share detail on what the ministry tends to do, but we have sort of multiple meetings with them, and we hope that an agreement could be signed by end of the year.
Okay, that would be great. What is your current production capacity for your in-house vaccines?
Like I said, the COVID-19 vaccine we have produced and we have stock. You see, the plant was formerly producing small volume injectables. We have reverted to small volume injectable to ensure that we have enough supply, because we were running short of supply of small volume injectables. Once we move to vaccine, and once our halal vaccine plant comes in 2024, that will continue to operate at 2 million cartridges. 2 million pre-filled syringes a month. So if the demand grows, then we have potential of additioning more lines. Yeah, so that will be unique. Currently for COVID-19 vaccine, we fill into vials. However, for future vaccines, those will come in pre-filled syringes. That means you just take the doctors basically will take the syringe and then immediately give you the jab. Yeah, no need to aspirate the vaccine from the vials.
I see. So usually, how long does it take for Pharmaniaga to introduce a new drug into the market?
I mentioned earlier, we need to do R&D on the drug itself. You see, the originator, the one who actually produced the drug, they will not share you the formula, right? So you need to do a re-engineering. When a patent expires, you need to do your own re-engineering, and that will take around 2 to 3 years, right? And the registration process in any country is common to be between 18 months and 24 months. So all in all, you're looking at 5 years before we can market a product to the we can get the product out to the market. So as such, as I mentioned earlier as well, that if we want to introduce a product today, we should have done the R&D starting 5 years ago. So if we are just beginning to do R&D now, the product will only available 5 years to come.
Okay. Now we know that the oil price is quite high right now due to the heightened geopolitical tension. So is your logistics division affected by this?
So far we have no impact. We hope because this price were there before. So unless it goes super high, then there might be some impact. But at the moment, we are still okay. It's not impacting our operations.
Okay. So would your company be the only one having total end-to-end halal certification when it comes when it operates in 2024? If not, how will you be distinguishing yourself from all other suppliers? Okay.
At the moment, we will be the first halal vaccine manufacturer, as well as first halal insulin producer. All right. Like I said, the others may have a halal product, but they are not certified. So in our case, we will have a certification, and JAKIM's certification in Malaysia is widely accepted throughout the world. So that gives us the extra advantage for us to market our product, especially to the Middle East.
Okay. Would you be able to run through some of your financial highlights with us, and probably what are your segmental breakdown? Okay, so we're going to hear from Puan Norai'ni, the CFO.
Calvin, can you move to the...
Okay, I will walk through our financial performance for 2021. We can see here our revenue, we closed 4.8 billion in 2021. Basically, this is actually derived from all our concession business, our private sectors, Indonesia, and of course, not to neglect that our Sinovac COVID-19 sales. This is actually extraordinary for 2021. And we take a look at the margin. The margin is actually improved from 2020 to 2021, our margin is actually stood at 13.1%. And our PATAMI margin, profit after tax and minority interest, is actually we registered at 3.6% and giving us our profit after tax 172.2 million in 2021. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the quarterly financial performance. We can see if we take a look at the green bar, this is actually for 2021 performance. We can see in Q2 and Q3, the revenue recorded is actually quite awesome. This is mainly because that period was COVID-19 sales. So it's actually normalized in Q4 2021. In terms of the margin, of course, I mentioned now it's actually a bonus for us for 2021 because of the COVID-19 sales. But please be mindful that other segments as well is going quite encouraging for 2021. So giving us the GPM of 22.1% in Q4 2021, 13.3% in Q3 2021. Basically, we would say that for 2021, gross profit margin is actually better off compared to last year, 2020. In terms of PATAMI, our fourth quarter 2021 PATAMI margin increased year-on-year in tandem with our higher revenue, along with our lower other operating expenditure recorded in Q4 2021. Next slide, please. This is a revenue breakdown, segmental. In the blue color is actually our concession business. When we take a look at fiscal year 2020, our concession business, we recorded 1.269 billion, which is contributed approximately about 47% to our total group revenue. But in 2021, reduced to 32.6%, mainly because of increase in our non-concession business, a part of our COVID-19 sales as well. For Indonesia, this is a lilac color, I would say. It's actually contributed about 19% to our total group revenue in 2021. So we can see here for concession business, it's 33% to our total group revenue. Non-concession business is 49%, followed by our Indonesia is about 19%. Next slide. Okay, this is our total assets stood at 2.2 billion and total liabilities of 1.7, giving us our shareholders' equity stood at 450.5 million as at 31st December 2021. Inventories mentioned earlier, 1.264, mainly because of our COVID-19 existing stocks, giving us circa 560 million RM. Receivables is actually 297 or close to 300 million. Payables is about 858.4 and giving us our borrowings of 855.2 billion. Our higher borrowing is actually mainly because of our purchase of COVID-19 vaccines, as I mentioned just now, and giving us the borrowing of 855.2 and is a gearing ratio of 1.9 times in December 2021. Next slide. Next slide, please. Row 17. Next slide, please.
Are you able to navigate to the next slide?
There's no more slides. That's the last one.
Oh, okay. This is the last slide. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay,
thank you so much. Thank you so
Okay.
much for showing us your financial highlights. So it looks like Encik Iqbal is back online. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me. So it looks like we come to the end of the Q&A session. So Encik Iqbal and Puan Norai'ni, do you have any parting words with us?
Again, I didn't get your last remark.
Yeah, do you have any closing statement or remarks?
Basically what we are saying is The company has been in existence for 27 years. We do not want the company to continue on our organic. We are looking at leap forwarding to new level. COVID-19 gave us the exposure that we could do more than what we think we could do. Producing vaccine in Malaysia was never, it was a dream for us, but it happened in a very shortest time. So there are other areas that we could also expand and move on. So this gives us the confidence that we could go greater, go bigger, and expand to other markets as fast as we want. It's all about us believing that we can do. Yeah.
All right. Anything from Puan Norai'ni?
Okay, probably this from Chief Financial Officer, of course, people looking at numbers. So what will be the expect numbers for 2022? I would say that, as mentioned by Encik Iqbal just now, 2021 is actually extraordinary. It's a windfall profit for us for the COVID-19 vaccines. But of course, if we look at our growth in terms of our revenue, in terms of our profit, it's actually encouraging for 2022. Because our segments is all segments across the organization is actually picking up very well. Yeah, the concession business as well as our private sector. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So looks like there are no more questions on my panel. So all questions have been adequately addressed. So thank you so much to both our speakers for sharing with us your key corporate highlights and also your growth strategies going forward. I think we have some participants say very good sessions. So yes, so ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from the Deputy Managing Director of Pharmaniaga Berhad, Mr. Mohamed Iqbal, and also the Chief Financial Officer of Pharmaniaga Berhad, Puan Norai'ni binti Mohamed Ali. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Tadi masa